Alright, so I just did the kit reveal of the new Cassian Undercover. And recently CG has added his little profile to the newsletter that we get. I'm not really going to cover this again because, you know, I already did with the proper kit reveal and stuff. Plus, this is just there in the newsletter that we get. Anybody can look at this. Granted, all of this anybody could look at, but the rest I wanted to talk about just in case you ignore this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it might pop up and you just click X. That's what I usually do. Only difference is I pay attention a little bit more just because I make videos, you know? But a normal person is just going to be like, yeah, F you, I want to play the game. So, this is just a recap of his kit reveal. Now, one other thing that they brought up was his requirements. So, obviously, his requirements are also in the game, probably. And I would imagine, I only say probably because I haven't checked, but I would imagine that they're there. That they are there. I know his event is kind of like, Phantom. Like, it's not really there, but it is, you know what I mean? But I would imagine that his requirements are kind of the same as what we had for Maul. Hate Fueled, like how you need to be at 4-star and such. But anyways, let's just properly go over this real quick so that then we have an idea of what to expect for access to his event. So to start, it says, we have put together this information in order to properly prepare everyone for the upcoming event to unlock Cassian Andor Undercover. This event is 4 tiers in length. The first 2 tiers are playable alongside Major Partagaz's release. Oh, so this will be coming out pretty soon then, because Major Partagaz, I would imagine, is next. And Deidre Mara's is, I would say, finishing up at this point. Like, probably by Tuesday, we'll be able to start having the release of Major Partagaz. So that means Cassian will be released as well, basically. So anyways, Tier 1, required to unlock. You need Clea Marquis, Vel Sartha, Sintakaz, Deidre Mira, and Major Partagaz, all at 4 stars, which makes sense, because all those characters will have been already unlocked at this time if they're going to unlock release Cassian at the same time as Major Partagaz. Partagaz, however you say that. Also, the only one that's missing from this list is the DX droid, KX droid, whatever he is, the bad version of K2SO, but K2SO bad hasn't been released yet, so that's why he's not a requirement. Anyways, required to play, you will use this unit in the tier Deidre Miro, era level 45. I don't know what that means. Required to play, you need her at level 45. But then it says you need to have all these characters at 4 stars, so why is she specifically being called out? Rewards enough shards to unlock Cassian Andor Undercover at 4 stars. Well, I'd hope so. Now to do tier 2, obviously it's all the same, except you need to have everybody at 5 stars, and then it says required to play. Sintakaz and Vel Sartha need to be era level 55. So I guess there's dual requirements. It's not only a star requirement, it's also specific characters need to be at a certain level, I guess. That's what I'm kind of gathering from this. Rewards enough shards to promote Cassian to 5-star, and then the final 2 tiers are playable alongside KX Security Droid's release, which again makes sense because this first tier is going to be the regular like marquee event for Major Partagaz, and then week 2 is going to be when you have like his version of Galactic Challenge that they do for a week, and then boom, now you get the next character, KX Security Droid. And this says the final 2 tiers, blah, blah, blah. So tier 3, you need to have Clea Marquis, Vel Sartha, Sintakaz, Deidre Miro, Major Partagaz, and the Security Droid, all at 6 stars. And also, what's kind of frustrating seeming, is required to play, you need to also have KX Security Droid at era level 70. So not only are you unlocking him, finally, but you need to boost him to 6 stars and get him to era level 70. That seems like quite a bit. So I feel like most people might be able to reasonably potentially get Cassian Andor up to 5 stars, no problem. But then after at 6 stars now starts to become major whale territory. And then the final tier looks like it's all those characters at 7 stars and era level 85. So you gotta be like all maxed out so that then you can get enough shards to get Cassian to 7-star. Which this thing says you will borrow a 7-star era level 75 Cassian Undercover to play this tier with. You will not be using your own Cassian Andor Undercover. That's kind of weird because all of the characters that are yours need to be level 85, but for some reason Cassian's only 75? Why does the borrowed Cassian only have to be 10 less? It's kind of lame. You know what I mean? Like, we have to put all this extra work in to be able to access this event, and then they're like, oh, here's the character that you can borrow. It's going to be a little less beefy. It's a little less intense to get where it needs to be, but, you know, F you. Anyhow, rewards enough shards to promote Cassian Andor Undercover to 7 stars. Obviously, I'd hope so. And then it says, note, these requirements are only for the first run of the Journey Guide event, the one that takes place during the era. When Cassian Andor's Undercover event eventually returns, the requirements to play each tier will be significantly higher. Well, yeah. Because then what happens is they're gonna add relics and all this crap, 7-star, relic 5, 6, 7, whatever. So if you look at it from this angle, you don't have to be relics. You just need to be 7-star, and then they're dumb era level 85 nonsense. So in a way, it is kind of easier, but still, you definitely have to pay money. You're not going to be unlocking a character at 7-star for free. I couldn't even participate in the mall event yet as a free-to-play player. So anyway, so that covers that. And then there's one more thing I just want to take a look at. They introduced a new Coliseum ability. Now it looks like this was released a few weeks ago, so a couple weeks ago at least, so, you know, a lot of us might already know about this. I haven't noticed. I don't really pay attention to Coliseum. I just slap that thing on auto and go, but, you know. So what they did is it says, hey Holotable Heroes, a new hero ability is coming to the Coliseum for the remainder of the era of Andor. With the introduction of the new ISB sub-faction, we are giving the first unit, Deidre Miro, a hero ability in the Coliseum. This makes the ISB the ideal team to take against some of the bosses of this era. The new ability reads as follows. If all characters are ISB, they gain 20% defense, max health, and max protection. At the start of each turn, they expose all Coliseum bosses for 1 turn, which can't be evaded or resisted. Whenever a Coliseum boss is exposed, all ISB characters recover 3% health and protection, and gain 15% offense until the end of their next turn. Deidre is immune to losing ISB ranks. So, there's a couple things that I'm thinking about here. First off, I don't really know why they'd be making something like that, where it's kind of like giving your team boosts and benefits, because if everything's the same as what I know of Coliseum is weirdly gated. Like, you can only do so much damage to a certain point, and then even if you're still sustaining, CG only allows you to do 1 damage. I mean, I watched this whole video that Arnold made that was like, I didn't watch the whole thing, I think I skipped through it, but it was literally like 9 hours long of his team in Coliseum just doing 1 damage, 1 damage, 1 damage, because his team's all beefed up and stuff, because, you know, he's a whale, kraken, whatever, even if he doesn't really want to admit it. And, yeah, so they were overpowered, but CG made it so they were doing no damage. And because they were overpowered, they were able to sustain the damage that the enemy was putting out. And, yeah, it took like 9 hours before his team finally died. So all I'm saying is, if that type of crap still exists, what's the point of this buff? It's not going to make any difference. Oh, what, you'll put up 2 damage instead of 1? Just because of rounding? Or will you not? Because it doesn't even say extra damage, does it? No, 15% offense. Well, 15% more of 1 is 1.15. So, you know, that rounds up to 1.2. But in the grand scheme of a whole number, it's not going to round up to 2. It would have to be 1.5 or higher to round up to 2, which means it's going to round down to 1, so you're still putting up 1 damage, even though you have all these special extra boosts and stuff. So, yeah, I don't know if this is actually any good. I think it just sounds cool on paper, but in practice, it's not going to do anything, I don't think. I mean, maybe it'll do a little bit while you're within the realm that CG accepts for the I don't know, level of the Coliseum event that they deem that you should be on. But once you get past it, it's not going to matter. Also, I'm trying to think, how would you even make a full ISB team? I mean, we only have 3 in this event, and they always make you have at least 5 characters, so that means you're going to have 2 rebels, right? Unless they give you Krennic and Imperial Probe Droid as options to add on your team. Otherwise, I don't even know if we would have a full ISB team. So how would you be able to activate this? Because you need to be a full team if all characters are ISB, like you have to be. So, I don't know. Anyways, they close this crap out with, if you want to see this in action, set Deidre Miro as the leader when entering the Coliseum. Leaving empty slots will summon ISB allies into those slots, up to 4 ISB characters for 4 empty slots. Okay, never mind. I didn't realize. You know what? Just because of that now, maybe I should go try this out. Let's see what happens. Alright, obviously we're here in Coliseum now, so let's try this nonsense out. I didn't even realize that. So, okay. I don't even think I ever realized you can even take characters out. I always think of them as they're just automatically there. You know what I mean? Kind of like, I don't know, I can't think of an event, but you know when you can't really change the characters because they're just part of the event? That's what I think of these guys. Anyway, so she's in the leader slot, so now it says that she will automatically summon ISBs, and then let's see, 1, what we get, and 2, how they do. So, well, yeah. Wow, we got Major Partagas, Krennic, we got the K2SO guy, and we have a, Death Trooper. Huh, I mean, this event is pointless. It's all about just putting on auto, so I just want to see what happens, though. As you can see, my old score with my normal team was, you know, close to being completed. So let's see if this weird thing makes a difference with the health, regeneration, and everything that you're supposed to be getting. Defense up, a little bit of offense up. The only problem is I'd say the ISB team kind of sucks. Like, you know, Krennic, he's not that great, and Death Trooper's okay. Partagas seems like he's just there, and Deidre seems like she kind of sucks too. So, I don't know how I feel about this overall. So far, they're not doing that great. At least these two didn't die. They're summons and they didn't die like what happened with like Mon Mothma or something, you know, they would just die. Okay, so I don't think I beat like my record, if you will. But I mean, that was still kind of cool. Like, I didn't even have that many slots available, you know? I only had 3 slots, and they gave me 4 characters, so, like, that was kind of cool. I guess because it says there's nobody available, that's all. So, technically, it's a slot, but I just didn't have anybody for it. Real quick, I guess, while we're dicking around doing this, can I get her any stronger by any chance? No? Well, whatever. That was something I just discovered. Let's go back to that. Here we go. Yep, so that's all I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to cover the requirements for Cassian, and then just go over this Coliseum thing that I didn't realize about at all. That didn't seem to do much, but that was still kind of cool. A little goofy experiment right there. Anyways, I guess that's all I had for this one, so thanks for checking this out with me, and until next time, I said see ya.